Hello there, Maverick Currency Traders. This is Rob Reinhold. It is the Currency Recap, and let's go ahead and jump into what happened today. In this session, we're going to go through the news of the day. We're going to take a look at the equity markets. We got a big rebound in the U.S. session. We're going to take a look through all of the currencies, score everything from a +3 to a -3, and we're going to pair up the strongest against the weakest.
Disclaimer. This video was created for professional Forex and crypto traders. Maverick Currencies is a proprietary trading firm that employs professional traders around the world. Our traders trade firm capital and keep 70 to 80% of profits they generate. All trades and analysis in this video are for professional traders only. If you are interested in becoming a professional Forex and currency trader for Maverick, click the apply button in the video description. Let's break down what happened today.
All right, let's take a look at the news of the day because we had a pretty quiet overnight session. Things weakened a little bit. And then we got the CPI out of the US. And right at first, it was taken as a hot number, meaning that it was a little bit higher than expected. It was supposed to be plus 0.2% on the headlines and plus 0.2% on the core. The core came out a little bit higher, and that's actually the number that the Fed cares more about. Initially, we saw that the chances for a 50 basis point rate cut came down. We saw the bond yields go up, and the equity markets dive down. But then once they bottomed out, we had a rally, and this rally just kept going all day long, closing at the high, telling you that there's a lot of people coming in to buy this market. If we take a look at the currency market, let's start off with Forex here. I want to just point out these numbers here. So if you take a look at this, by the end of the day, you say, oh, these didn't go anywhere. Yes, they did. They went a lot of places. It's just this is where they closed for the day. So again, at one point, the dollar was up about 0.4%. It came back down. The yen was up about 0.7%, 0.8%. It came back down. The Swiss franc never recovered, though. The Swiss franc, and I want to point this out, was weak when it should have been strong, and it was weak when it should have been weak. That is a sign that the Swiss franc likely wants to go lower. Euro ended flat. We'll take a look at the Euro chart. The question is, what was strong for the day? And the Aussie and the CAD were the strongest of the Forex. If we take a look at the other broad markets here, S&P and the World Index up about 1%. Now remember, at one point we were down almost 1%. This is a 2% intraday reversal. We'll take a look at the charts, pretty substantial. Crypto, totally flat, gold flat. Oil was up, but look, oil's just been hanging out here at a low level. There's really not much to talk about in that market. We come over here to cryptos. Cryptos were basically flat. Bitcoin went nowhere. 0.12 is a very, very insignificant move on Bitcoin. And you can see that Ethereum continues to underperform the rest. And that's been a recurring theme for a long time. Let's take a look at this S&P chart. And I really want to focus on just what's happened recently. So we ran all the way up to resistance. We got hit, we came down, we found some support right around this point. And you can see today's long lower shadow got exactly to that same point. But take a look at how long this candle is. We opened up here, went all the way down to the low, and then we climbed all day long to close at the highs. We are still right between the moving averages. We can't really say that, hey, this is a great bullish sign. We are still at a zero, but this candle is very powerful. We can't discount this. With another green candle tomorrow, I think we can look at this market and say, hey, we're likely going to run up to the previous high and test that again. And what's going to happen is we're going to be making an ascending triangle pattern. That means that ultimately this market is likely to break out to the upside. If we have a big fat red candle tomorrow, then all of a sudden we're going to just have to stay at this zero. We're just going to have to stay at this zero where we are and wait for it to really make a move. Let's take a look at what is on the calendar coming up over the next 24 hours. So tomorrow we've got the ECB. Right, ECB, look at that rate cut forecast. They are forecast to cut more than 0.5%. They're forecast to cut 0.6%. This is likely already factored into the euro price. So if they are more dovish, then I think we will see some more US or euro weakness. If they're less dovish, then I think it probably bounces. But I'm not expecting there to be a big move off of this, even though, again, you look at this, you say, wow, what a big rate cut. This is the expectations. Expectations are already built into the current price of the currency. Unless it's dramatically different than expectations, it's already priced in. We also have US PPI tomorrow. Not going to be as important unless it's like really hot for some weird reason. I don't think it's going to be. PPI has been well below CPI. I think we get tomorrow a little bit of relief on the PPI front. For anyone who was worried about that hot core number on the CPI, I think this PPI is going to put that to bed. I think we get an up day tomorrow on the equity markets. So let's go in and take a look at currencies and see where we're going to be focusing our efforts. Let's start with the cryptocurrency basket. Now this is a basket of 4 cryptocurrencies equally weighted. And you can see here, we are generally going lower. Just generally going lower here. Yes, we found some support, but it's still a descending triangle. Until we make a better chart pattern, crypto to me is untradeable. So I am not looking at any crypto. I don't even care if Litecoin has been slightly outperforming the rest. I don't care. I am not interested until it looks much more bullish. So let's go find something in the Forex market. Let's take a look at yen. Again, long upper shadow on yen. Like I said earlier, the yen closed flat, but it moved. It had a big move up here. Ultimately, you'd have to take a look at this and say, okay, this is a pullback in a bullish market. If you are bearish, let's say you have a different view than I do, that the market is going to be more bearish in equities, then yen is your target. This is a beautiful bull pullback. Again, the yen is a risk-off currency, so if equities go down, it should help the yen. You're simply waiting for a pullback into this area, which is right about where we are. You want to see some reversal candles in here, maybe like a hammer candle or something here. The yen to me looks bullish if the equity markets fall further. That is not my premise, so I am not really interested in that at all. I think the equity markets bounce. The dollar also did the same thing, ran up, came down. The dollar is fairly flat today. As you can see here, ran up, ran down. We had a big Y candle, but ultimately that's a doji. A doji is saying there is no clear direction on up or down or dollar at the moment. So we come over here to Swiss franc. Remember, I said that the Swiss franc, when the market was strong, wasn't all that strong. When the market was weak, it was weak. This is my target. This is a risk-off currency. If I think that equities are going to be bullish tomorrow, I want to find the risk-off currency that performed the worst, and that is definitely Swiss franc, no doubt about it. So Swiss franc is absolutely in my crosshairs. Here is the euro on a daily chart. I really hate these wicks. I really hate these wicks. Whenever I see these wicks, it's absolutely a red light to say stay away. This price action is great. These wicks, all they do is kill stops. That's all they do is trigger stops. I have no desire to wade into a currency that's showing me these wicks. Speaking of those, here's pound. These are stop killers. We want to be trading when there's actual trending going on, not when there's this. So I'm completely avoiding euro and pound altogether. CAD, on a daily chart, you can see that CAD for the most part is low basing here, going slightly lower. It's just, again, not that interesting on the CAD here. Which means now I'm going into the Aussie and the Kiwi. And I'm just, again, on the daily charts, yes, you can make a case that this is bounced, that we broke down, we recovered. Okay, on the short term, the question is, where is the momentum? Where is the momentum? If I want to be long one of these growth currencies, where is the momentum? It's turning on Aussie. Can you say it's turning on CAD? not really. Can you say it's turning on the Kiwi? And the answer is not really. So where is our strength? Where is our strength in the Forex market? And really the only thing I can say is the Aussie is the only one that's showing me it's above the parabolic SAR, the moving average is turning up, RSI is sloping up above 50. So for me, the Aussie is the clear winner here on short-term momentum. Here's where we sit in the velocity score. So this is what's moving right here, right now. As you can see, the clear call is Aussie long, Swiss franc. If you don't want to do that pair for some reason, maybe you can look at the CAD at a +2. But look, I'm all about relative strength and weakness. I think Aussie Swiss franc is the trade for the next 24 hours. Let's go ahead and look at that, and we might look at something like a CAD trade against either the euro or the Swiss franc. So let's go ahead and pair up my favorite currency cross, Aussie Swiss franc. So you can see here, let's take a look at the daily chart. The daily chart isn't super encouraging. So when I take a look at this chart, I have to look at it and admit this isn't one of those moments in the year where there's big movements happening. It's just not. We take a look at, big movements like these. This is a big movement. This was a decent bounce. But over the past 3 weeks, we have to admit that the volatility is less. So we can't look at this saying, oh, this thing's going to run up to, 60 cents or 61 cents. Why would we think that? There's no reason. We would think that it's going to be staying in this area. And specifically, maybe even this area between 56 and 58. I think that's where you have to look at this. If you're going to make this trade, I think the most optimistic you could possibly be is up to 58. So look, we're at the bottom. We're possibly bouncing. We're not there yet. So all the things we're looking for on a daily chart, it's not there yet. But let's go ahead and take a look at a 4-hour chart. We're starting to see the price action we want on a 4-hour chart. We've seen, a breakout of parabolic SAR. We've seen a breakout of this downtrend line. We have EMAs turning up. We have RSIs turning up. So on the 4-hour chart, we do have some confirmation. The best trade would be to wait for that daily chart to confirm. That's going to give us a really good signal that, hey, the trend is truly going up to that 58. Everything's moving on their way. So this trade is a decent trade, but it does not have the daily confirmation to it that I like. This is where, as a younger trader, I would say, I don't need it. And you know what? Sometimes I made money, sometimes I didn't. As an older trader, I've clicked the button so many times, I have no compulsion to click the button. I'm waiting for the perfect moments. So for me, I'm waiting for this chart to get better. Let's take a look at CAD Swiss franc while we're here. And you can see it's very similar. CAD Swiss franc is pretty similar, and same thing on the daily chart. Again, the daily chart is just not giving me much confidence. Now, I do have to say that this daily chart looks a little bit better. We just did go above the parabolic SAR here on a daily chart. We are starting to get some slope on this RSI and this moving average. Let me see if I can get it highlighted. I cannot. There it is. It's starting to slope up a bit. This daily chart looks superior to Aussie Swiss franc, even though on the short term, I like the Aussie Swiss franc as far as velocity much better. This is where the trade is. When is the perfect time to pull the trigger? I don't think there is one right here, right now. This is where, if you do pyramiding, I think this is a great time to do pyramiding, because if you say, hey, I'm a little bit worried if I wait, I'm going to miss it. Look, take a position, have a wide stop. If you're right, you're in some of it. If you're wrong, you have the luxury to wait maybe a day or two until it actually does start to do what you want it to do, just waiting for that daily chart to kick in. That's a good way to make trades in these kind of situations. But let me be clear, this is not a high energy environment. Do not expect this trade to go significantly higher. This is one of those, hey, I'm going to swing the bat and hopefully I get a single. Best luck, I get a double, that's it. Let me say again, this is not a great trading environment. It's not bad, but it's not great. We like to wait for those great trading moments when all three things are working for us. The daily chart, the 4-hour chart, the 1-hour chart, where everything's going in one direction. look, we're just not there. It's just not where we are at the moment. I believe there's a neutral sentiment in the equity market. One day good, one day bad. We'll see what happens. Do not expect your trades in the Forex market to move much. Do not expect currencies or cryptos to move much. I think that's just where we are at the moment. If we get better scores, we can become more aggressive. But as we always say, Maverick, trade the market in front of you. Not the one you think it should be, not the one you want it to be. Just trade the market that's in front of you. You're going to do really great if you just do that. Goodbye, everybody.